I have gotten an unbelievable amount of requests for how I do this with my headlights on the TRX. Today, we're going to talk about exactly how to do this and a lot more with your TRX. Let's jump right into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. As you can hear behind me, this is a TRX video. And like I said there in the beginning, I have gotten a massive amount of requests for this specific video. So we're going to show you how to customize the heck out of your Ram TRX. All right, guys, so we aren't going to waste any time today. We're going to jump right into it. This particular video today is going to be demonstrating the Tazer. So the Tazer DT is the one you want for your Ram TRX, and this is it. This is all it takes to do all the customization we've been talking about. Now, there is a lot to cover in this video. So what we're going to do, I'm going to show you real quick how to install this thing. Then we're going to jump inside and I'm going to go over all of the options that are available on the dashboard and what kind of customizations you can do with your Ram. So up underneath the dash, we are looking for these two wires from factory. They're actually clipped up further underneath, but you'll be able to see them pretty easily. They're not actually plugged into anything. They're in a little holder that you can just pop them out. These are the only two things. All you're going to do is take the Tazer DT and plug them in. One's bigger than the other. Snap, snap, and immediately you're going to see some lights flashing. That means you are ready to go. Now you can zip tie this up under if you'd like. If not, just let it hang, because there are updates that are done through this mini USB port right here, so you want to have access to this thing from time to time. Now with this Tazer DT device I have currently for the Ram TRX, I am actually on the beta software, so 18.2 is what I'm on as of the filming of this video, which of course is March 8th 2023. This could potentially have some new options that come out over the period of the Tazer's existence. Of course, I will document any notable changes, but for now, the big focus on this particular firmware is security. So outside of the Tazer and the security it offers, which we'll talk about in a second, there's another bit of security we can talk about, and that's actually the sponsor of today's video. So the people over at Hyperion make an aluminum block case that acts as a Faraday case to interrupt the signal between your key and your car. So with the key in the Faraday case right there, I have the level 2 truck, so I can come up and just put my hand inside here and it should unlock, but it's not doing so. So if we take the Faraday case and just pop the top off and set it right back up there again, now you can see the truck has unlocked. Coming inside the truck, it's the same kind of thing. Inside the Faraday case, we put our foot on the brake and hit the start button, and it is telling us the key fob is not detected. Pop the top, and sure enough, she starts right up. So, if you guys are not familiar with why this matters in the TRX, this truck can be easily stolen just by stealing the codes from your key fob to your truck. The stock key fob fits very nicely right down inside of the case here, and you can save a bunch of money on one of these just for being a horsepower obsessed fan. Check out the code in the description down below and get yourself one of these things for peace of mind. So once the Tazer is installed, you'll go ahead and put your truck into run mode just by touching the start button here twice. The truck will not be running, but it will have all the electronics on. We're going to use the left D-pad here to go up to audio. Once we're in audio, we're going to go ahead and hit the left arrow as well as cancel to go all the way over to marry. Now you can see here mine says unmarry because mine is already married. Basically, once you get the device, it will want you to marry it to the vehicle so that you can use all of the functions of it. After the device is married, you'll start in the very beginning, which the first option here is light show. So with the left button down, you can go ahead and press the select button, which is the cruise button here. And once we hit that, you'll see that the lights of the car here start going crazy. Now, the turn signals are flashing, and on the outside, we're getting exactly what I would call a light show. Now, you can actually cycle through these by holding down the left arrow and selecting the cruise control button again. It will vary the way that the light show is displayed. Different lights will flash at different rates, things like that. There's actually 6 different options here, so just go through all of them and decide which one you want. Once you want to cancel that, just go ahead and hold down the left arrow again and hit cancel, and it will go light show off. Now, the next option here is to read your DTCs. These are your check engine lights. If you have any, you would just, again, hold down the left arrow, press select button, which is the cruise button, and it will read any error codes your truck might have. Now, we'll cycle past this again by holding down the left arrow and hitting cancel, and it will go to the next option. This is where you can clear said DTCs if you have it. Again, holding down the left arrow, hit cancel to move through. Again, we can unmarry from here. Like we talked about a little bit ago, I could take this device and remove it from my vehicle if I ever wanted to sell it. The next option is performance. So we'll go ahead and select that. So again, the cruise control button will take us into the performance category. Here we can change the size of the tires that the truck is expecting. My wheels and tires are still stock, so I'll leave them at the 35 inch. Again, left arrow down, cancel to cycle through. Here you can change, if you ever decide to change any of the gears in your truck, you can change the gear ratio. Again, I didn't do any of that, so nothing's changed there. Cancel to move through to the next one. Again, some more gear information for 4 low. Here we can change some of the TPMS sensor stuff, so if you wanted to reset it or add a new TPMS sensor, you can do it from this menu. Now we'll go ahead and select the OK button again, cruise control on radio. This is going to allow us to change some different parameters with cameras and whatnot. Cargo camera, the TRX does not have that. If you ever decided you wanted to add something like that, you could do that from here. Cancel again. DVD, CD. We obviously do not have a DVD or CD player in the TRX, so that doesn't make any sense. Next, travel link. I'm actually not 100% sure what that one is. And then we're back to the lighting menu. So again, we're going to cycle through to the next thing, which is off-road. We'll go ahead and select that by hitting the cruise control button. We have EP steer, which you can turn on or off. We have the location of your locking differential, which in the TRX's case is only the rear. If this was in a power wagon, it would say rear, front, and rear. Cancel to move forward again. So mirrors, this is one of the places that I really like. So we'll go ahead and hit the cruise control to select the mirror. We have power fold. Obviously, they are power folding on the TRX, so that's yes. Mirror turn, which is going to show you where you're turning. It's going to show the front and rear camera as well as the side camera of whichever side you're turning to on your navigation screen. So I have that set to yes. Next, it's going to be mirror tow. Mine are tow mirrors. If yours are not, you would say no to this. And then we have other. We'll go ahead and select other and see what's in here. This is talking about the auxiliary 6 button. So in my Ram here, I do have the 6 auxiliary buttons that we can customize and change the way that they're set up from here. You can hit cancel to move to the next spot. Blind spot. I do have blind spot detection in my level 2 Ram TRX, so it says yes. Power steps I do not have. If I did, you could set them up in here as well. Trailer brake I do have. If you didn't, that would say no. If you wanted to add it afterwards, you could turn that on. The next one is belt ding. I have that set to no, so basically it will not ding when I'm driving down the road if I don't have my seatbelt on. Next, you could change the splash screen, but I've heard there's some errors and issues with doing so on a TRX, so I wouldn't recommend that. Just leave that as NA. Panic button, it's basically allowing you to disable your panic button on your key fob. I obviously would not do that. SGW basically allows you to keep this plugged in while it's at the dealership without causing any issues. The next one we're going to go to is lighting. So again, go ahead and hit that cruise control button to select it. In here we have DRL type. I obviously live in America, so I leave it set to USA. Next would be the DRL location. So this is going to be where we can set our daytime running lights to that amber color. Now, obviously I have it set to turn right now, which is your turn signal. That's the amber color. Your other options here would be none or the low beam. So we're going to leave it on turn signal. That leaves them the amber color. Next, we're going to go to DRL drop. So this would be basically something that shuts the light off before your turn signal comes on. I have that set to no, so it will always be on. So this is fog lights enabled. So whenever it says yes, that just means you do have fog lights and they are turned on. If your TRX is modified and you remove the front bumper and you don't have fog lights, you could just turn that feature off. Next, we're going to have fog drop, which of course is going to turn your fog lights off with the high beams. If you do have the fog lights on your TRX, I have mine set to not drop whenever the high beams come on. They're not super bright, so I don't think that's an issue. Your mileage may vary. If you would prefer that they still turn off normally, you would just set that to yes. Next, we have one touch, which of course is your turn signal. You just barely press that turn signal and it's going to flash the turn signal 3 times to allow you to change lanes. That's set to yes. Next, we have the halo enabled. Now, like I said before, the halo is the 3 lights on the top of your hood. I have that set to yes, so that is always on with my daytime running lights. Next, we have LED fog lights, yes on the TRX. LED tails are yes. I'm not sure what that part is. Trailer tow, yes. And that's all with the Tazer DT without starting the vehicle. So the other options are what they call live options. For that, we're going to have to go ahead and start the truck. Now, one of the very first things you're going to notice here is the truck is automatically going to put me into sport mode. And you can see sport right there. That is a function of the Tazer DT as well. That will allow you to automatically remember whatever mode you were in when you last shut off the truck. So if you're like me and you drive the truck very often in sport mode, it will pretty much always stay in sport mode unless you change it. Now from here, we're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Hold down the left arrow and press cancel to cycle through the menus. Only this time we're going to get a new one. This one is the security/pin. Like we talked about earlier with the security, there is a little bit of security in the Tazer as well. We'll go ahead and select it with the cruise control button. Here you can select your pin. So for example, your pin can be any combination of these buttons here. If you wanted it to be 4 digits, 6 digits, doesn't matter, you can select it. When you select said pin, what's going to happen is it's going to ask for that pin every single time you get into the truck. So if someone were to try to get in here and hotwire it or add a key to it without your knowledge, they would get in, they would have to type in that pin in order for the truck to move. Now we can cycle through here a little bit more and it will show you exactly what it's going to disable. So this is pin enabled is on. You can disable the pedal. So the gas pedal will literally do nothing if you don't put in that pin number. And again, pin brakes. So if you don't put in the pin number, the brakes will automatically clamp down to the point where you're not able to move the truck. The next one is the pin horn. So the horn will just literally come on and stay on solid until that pin is put in. Next is pin lights. The lights will flash if the pin is put in incorrectly or not put in at all. Accelerator kill will obviously kill the accelerator pedal. And this one is kill by fob. So basically if you lock your truck with your key fob, it has to be unlocked with that same key fob to bypass the password completely. So if you lock it with your key fob and unlock it with that same fob, you do not have to worry about putting in the pin code. It will automatically reset it for you. The next is the setting that we were talking about earlier. You have to be running. The truck has to be running for this live settings to be on here. This is where a lot of the really cool features live. Again, we'll go ahead and use the cruise control button to select it. In here, we have the option for brake hold. So this will literally hold the brakes on your truck when you're on a hill and things like that, specifically for off-roading. The next option is in motion. I have this turned off. What this is supposed to do is allow you to type your addresses into the infotainment system and things like that while the truck is moving, because from factory, they disable that feature. If the truck is moving, it will not allow you to change or add any addresses in the GPS. This, however, is not working right on the 2022s or 23s at the moment, so I leave that off. Honestly, I use Apple CarPlay all the time anyway, so I'm never using the built-in navigation. Hitting cancel, moving on, we're going to go to the turn cam. So again, this is the camera that will turn on whenever you hit your turn signal. It will show whichever side mirror you are turning on, as well as the rear camera for your truck to show you pretty much everything that's around you when you're going to make that turn. I really like that feature. I leave that on. And this is something that is only working really well in the latest beta 18.2. Before that, they were having a little bit of issues with it. So pressing cancel again to move on. The next one is kill 3 honk. So basically, if you're in your truck and it's running like it is now and you step out of the truck without the keys, the truck will honk 3 times and it's really annoying. This option being on will stop that from happening. Next is the park camera. This is again a really cool feature. If you get super close to an object and the truck automatically senses you're too close, it will turn on the camera on your infotainment system again to show you what is approaching and what you're close to. Next is auto fold on. This is one of my favorite features of the Tazer, and that will automatically fold the mirrors in when the truck is turned off and automatically fold them back out once you turn the truck on. Next is going to be the amber DRL. So you guys know from factory, the DRLs or daytime running lights of the TRX are white. This will allow them to be the amber color, which is number 1, a lot brighter. Number 2, gives it more of that Raptor look. And number 3, it matches the lights that are in the halo. Those are the 3 LED lights that are up in the hood. I have mine set to both. This is going to allow you to have that amber look during the day and the amber look at night. You can cycle through this and make it so it's only amber during the day and regular white at night to more match your headlights. Your mileage may vary. So again, we'll go ahead and hit cancel to move on. This is the auto parking brake kill. So if you are driving this truck off road and you step out while the truck is on an incline, if you open the door and step out, it will automatically put on the e-brake, and it gets kind of annoying if you're in and out a lot on a trail. So you can turn that feature off right here. I don't mind too much. I actually prefer it this way. Some people don't. So if you don't like this, you can turn that feature on and it will stop that from happening. Cancel to move on again. Remote restart. So this is a new feature for 18.2 as well. What this is going to allow you to do is remote start your vehicle more than the factory 2 times allowed. So if you remote start your truck once and it turns off after 10 or 15 minutes, you remote start it again, that's it. You are not allowed to do it again. The truck will not start again. With this, it will allow you to do that as many times as you want. Going into the next one, we have the pulse brake speed. So mine is set to slow, and what this is the third brake light pulsation speed. So for me, I have mine set to pulse 4 times. Every time I hit the brake, it will flash and let it kind of get the the distracted drivers behind you that get their attention. I have it set to slow, and honestly, slow is still pretty fast. With that set at slow, I also have it set to do it 4 times. You can go all the way up to, I think it was 20, which is way too many if you ask me. 4 times is perfect, and depending on your state laws, some police officers view anything over 4 as ornamental or fancy lighting to the point where they could potentially ticket you, so I would keep it at no more than 4. Next option, we have the winch option. So from here, you can kind of choose which winch you have if you do have one. I don't, so I don't have anything set up in there. Next is tire fill, so this would honk the horn if you're filling up your tires. Next is dark mode. If I chose that, it would literally shut off everything on the dash and on my infotainment system while I'm driving to keep everything real dark. Now, if we go into video, some of these options are going to show you a little more detailed options whenever the truck is running. For example, when I hit camera on and it says on right there, it actually turned the camera on my infotainment system where it didn't before. Moving out of there though, we have force rear wheel drive. This is something we didn't see earlier. This is literally going to allow you to force your TRX to rear wheel drive only. So if I hit that cruise control button, it is going to electronically detach the front wheels. This is useful obviously at a drag strip. Cancel, moving on, we have our Tazer DT firmware, which like I said is 18.2 and is currently in beta. There are a couple other features of the Tazer that are not even included on the dash screen there. And one of them is the ability to roll down your windows with 5 presses, 5 quick presses of the unlock key. So we'll go ahead and do that. So we'll press this thing 5 times. And there goes the windows down. Just the passenger and driver's side. So if you wanted to do this during the summer to keep your truck cool or something, that would be ideal. Now, the best part is you can put them back up with 5 quick locks. And there they go up. That is a Tazer DT feature. Now, you can also enable the light show by pressing a combination of the lock and unlock buttons as well. So that is light show number 1. We can also see it from the back. And of course, you can cycle through all of these by pressing unlock on your remote to change it to the next one. So this is a slightly different style one. You can see there's more of a rhythm to this one. I don't know. I don't really ever see a use for this, but it is kind of cool that it's there. The only other thing I want to demonstrate for you is the PIN number. So I have the PIN code set on there. I'm in the truck. I'm going to go ahead and shut it off. We're going to step out of the truck. I'm going to go ahead and lock it so it thinks we're out. Then I'm going to unlock it, open the door back up like we're getting back in, and then I'm going to go ahead and start it, and you're going to see the PIN. It's going to ask me for the PIN. Now, I turned off the horn so my neighbors wouldn't think I'm crazy, but you can see the turn signals are flashing. It says enter PIN. It's counting down from 40, and as we get closer and closer, things are going to start locking out. So you'll see it pop up on the dash there. We haven't entered the PIN yet. Lights are flashing. So it's telling you key fob not detected because you're getting real close to the end. So we can see here now, the parking brake is set. You just heard the ABS pump kick on. The brakes are locked. The throttle is now nothing. I can take my foot, push on the gas. It's not doing anything because this thing is totally locked out. I cannot do anything right now. Now I can go ahead and put my PIN number in, which is just for argument's sake, I put in up, down, left, right, and it unlocked the PIN. Pedals back on. Everything is back on. Now you saw a little bit of an error message there, but it's no big deal because it all comes back after everything comes back on. So that is the security portion of the Tazer DT. This is something they are constantly working on as well. They just recently made it where if you lock it with your key fob, and even if the thieves coming in removed the Tazer DT from it, it wouldn't matter. It still is going to lock out that gas pedal. Now, these are getting improvements on and on and on as we go, so stay tuned for any updates. I didn't want this video to get too long, so I went through some of those settings pretty quick, guys, but let me know if you have any questions regarding any of the specific details we just covered with the Tazer DT. I'm going to show all of the new updates as they come out and whether or not there's anything relevant, and Tazer's constantly updating their security aspect to this, so stay tuned for any of those updates coming. I hope you guys liked what you saw here. Please let me know if there's anything you want me to cover a little bit more in depth here. Like I said, this is one of the most requested videos I've had in quite some time, so hopefully this helps you guys out. If you have any questions, like I said, leave them in the comment section down below, and I will definitely make sure I get to it. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do. I'm going to have loads of content like this coming you're not going to want to miss. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next upload.